The Galactic Council chamber hung suspended in the void between dimensions, a structure that defied physics itself. Luna stood at the observation deck of the Prometheus Eternal, her fingers tracing the cold glass as she watched the impossible architecture shimmer with ancient power. 800 millennia had passed since humanity's expulsion, and now they had returned, not as supplicants, but as something the galaxy had never anticipated. "Sensors are picking up movement," Max called from the command console, his augmented eyes flickering with data streams. 12 council fleets converging on our position. They're not happy we're here." Luna smiled, though there was no warmth in it. "They expelled us for being too aggressive, too warlike, too unpredictable. They never stopped to consider what we might become with 800,000 years to evolve without their guidance." The communication channels exploded with overlapping transmissions. The Vexlar hegemony, the crystalline collective, the thought weavers of Andromeda, all the ancient powers that had voted humanity into exile, were demanding answers, threatening consequences, invoking laws written when Earth's sun was young. Max silenced them all with a single gesture, his neural interface cutting through their combined transmissions like a hot blade through protein paste. "They're still thinking in terms of fleets and weapons," he observed. "They don't understand what we've done. What humanity had done was simple in concept, revolutionary in execution. While the Galactic Council had stagnated, bound by treaties older than some civilizations, humanity had been free to experiment, to fail, to transform. They had merged with their technology, transcended biological limitations scattered across dimensions the Council didn't even know existed. The Prometheus Eternal wasn't a ship in any conventional sense. It was a compressed singularity wrapped in thought-responsive matter, powered by the quantum foam of reality itself. Luna and Max weren't merely its crew. They were aspects of a collective consciousness that spanned a million worlds, chosen to interface with beings who still thought in linear terms. "Council Fleet Admiral Zexthar is demanding we power down and submit to inspection," Max reported, amusement coloring his tone. "He's threatening to open fire." "Let him," Luna replied calmly. The Admiral made good on his threat. 12 fleets, representing the combined military might of species that had ruled the galaxy for millions of years, unleashed hell, antimatter warheads that could crack planets, gravity weapons that twisted space-time, probability disruptors that could erase matter from existence. All of it converged on the Prometheus Eternal. The weapons passed through the ship like light, through water, each attack sliding into a pocket dimension and dissipating harmlessly. Luna didn't even bother to shield them. There was no point. Humanity had learned to exist in states that made conventional physics irrelevant. "Their weapons are based on fourth-dimensional manipulation," Max explained, as if lecturing students. "We've been working in the 14th dimension for the last 200,000 years. It's like they're trying to hurt us with shadows." Luna initiated contact, her consciousness expanding to touch the minds of every council member simultaneously. It was considered impossibly rude in galactic protocol, a violation of mental sovereignty. She didn't care. "You expelled us," her voice echoed through a billion minds, "because you feared what we might become. You were right to fear, but wrong about the nature of the threat." Admiral Zexthar's consciousness recoiled from the contact. His people, the Vexlar, were telepathic by nature, but Luna's touch was something different. Not an intrusion, but an invitation to perceive reality as humans now did. "Impossible," the Admiral gasped. "No species can achieve this level of integration. The Great Convergence Theorems prove." "The Great Convergence Theorems were written by beings who never had to survive alone," Max interrupted. "You had the Council, the protection of ancient powers, the luxury of stability. We had nothing but ourselves and 800,000 years of necessity." Luna pulled back slightly, showing mercy the Council had never shown humanity. "We didn't return for revenge, despite what you might think. We returned because we've detected something you can't see yet, something that makes our old conflicts meaningless." She shared the data directly, mind to mind. In the spaces between dimensions, in the gaps where reality itself grew thin, something was stirring. The universe was dying, faster than the Council's models predicted, and the cause was something that existed beyond their understanding. The entropy shepherds, beings from a previous universe who fed on the heat death of realities, accelerating the end so they could feast on the released energy. Humanity had encountered them in the outer dimensions, fought them, learned from them. They were coming to the primary dimension soon, and when they arrived, all the Council's power would be meaningless. "You're lying," High Counselor Trelvan transmitted, though Luna could sense the fear beneath the denial. "Nothing can survive between universes. Nothing can threaten the established order of reality." "That's exactly the kind of thinking that led you to expel us," Max said quietly. "You became so invested in your order, your rules, your comfortable galaxy, that you forgot the universe doesn't care about our rules." Luna opened another channel, this time showing them what humanity had built in exile. Not weapons of conquest, but tools of survival, dimensional anchors that could stabilize reality, consciousness shields that could protect biological minds from entropic dissolution, and ships like the Prometheus Eternal that could exist in spaces where the entropy shepherds hunted. "We're not here to rejoin your council," Luna stated. "We're here to offer you a choice. Adapt or die. Evolve or be consumed. The galaxy that expelled us doesn't exist anymore. We've been changing while you slept in your comfort." She could feel the Council's collective consciousness fracturing, old alliances crumbling as species realized the truth. The Thought Weavers were the first to understand, their crystalline matrices processing the data with terrifying speed. The crystalline collective followed, their song shifting to harmonize with the new reality. Admiral Zexthar's fleet began to withdraw, weapons powering down. "What do you want from us?" he asked, the fight draining from his voice. Max looked at Luna, and in that glance they shared the collected wisdom of 100 generations of human advancement. "To survive," he said simply. "Together, but this time on equal terms. No more expulsions, no more exile. We face the darkness as one or we fall separately." The Galactic Council chamber flickered as dimensional coordinates began streaming into every ship's navigation system, coordinates to human research stations, to diplomatic vessels waiting in nearby dimensions, to the tools humanity was willing to share. Luna smiled, and this time it was genuine. "You expelled us for being dangerous. We became something better, necessary. Welcome to the new galaxy, counselors. Try to keep up." The Prometheus Eternal phased into higher dimensions, leaving the Council to contemplate their choice. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy would never be the same.